Sit, stay, stay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tales of Two. Technical difficulties, as usual. My computer decided that it didn't want to do live anymore, so here I am on my phone again. But today's actually really, really cool. We are broadcasting, or I am broadcasting from my backyard again. But I am going to show you, to continue the survival theme this week, I am going to show you how to make a very basic water filter. Okay? Now, this water filter is going to be using stuff that I was able to find around my house, around my area, and using water from Cedar Run. So that's going to be fun. It's also going to be, like, everything in it is substitutable. Okay, so you're going to be able to substitute just about anything for whatever you can find out in the woods. Okay? Now, water is really, really, really super important. I know that Miss Erin talked about that yesterday when we were talking about our shelter, how important shelter is. It's also really important to have water. Humans need water at least every 3 days, okay? We need water to survive. Basic life stuff, right? Generally, people can survive about for 3 days without water, okay? But the water that you use also has to be clean, because water has the potential to carry a lot of pathogens in it, a lot of germs, a lot of parasites, so little bugs and things that might get inside your body. So the idea that you can just drink from a clean stream or drink from a clean pond is a little bit dangerous. Okay, so you want to be able to filter the water before you drink it. Okay, now the stuff that I'm going to show you is how to get a lot of the general bigger impurities out of the water, so the things that makes water look dirty. These water filters are not going to be good for getting rid of the bugs in it, getting rid of the germs in it. Okay, for that you would have to boil the water. Okay, so you would have to actually put it into a container that you can boil it into. Okay, so I honestly would not recommend doing this unless it is actually a survival situation. Please don't do that. Okay, not if you don't need to. Water from our tap is fine. Water from your well is fine. Water from a spring that's bottled up, spring water from ShopRite, it's fine. Okay, drink that unless you actually need to use this for a survival situation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to turn this bottle into a water filter. Okay, now you're gonna have to have a couple of other things. So you're gonna have to have something for the water to go into. In this case, I have a clear mason jar. Okay, you might recognize it. I think I had onions in this one, something like that. You want to have something for the water to flow into once it's done, once it's clear. If you are boiling the water afterwards, try and make sure that it is something that you can use to put over a stove or over a fire or something like that, okay? You want to be able to boil water in this, okay? Alternatively, what you can use, and I could not find before I started this, I was so mad at myself, you could also use iodine tablets, okay? So iodine tablets can also purify the water after it's been filtered. They can get rid of a lot of the germs and bacteria and diseases that are in the water, okay? So that'll help with that, okay? So you can use something like this, or you can use a plastic bottle for that. Please don't put a plastic bottle over the fire. Don't do that, okay? All right, so we're gonna get started with this. Again, since I'm using my phone, the angles are gonna be a little bit wonky, but I'm gonna try and show you what we're doing, okay? So I do have a knife here. Okay, this is just a box cutter. You can use a regular knife too. Please be careful if you're going to do this at home. Okay, I do have, this is my Cedar Run water. Doesn't that look great? Doesn't that look so fantastic? Like everybody wants to drink that, right? That is amazing. Okay, now this is lake water too. Okay, so this is water from our lake, and honestly, I did mix it up a little bit because I want to show all the dirt and the junk in it. Okay, if you're in a survival situation, running water overall is better than still water. So if you were in a survival situation, I would say get water from the stream. But if you're in a survival situation and all you have is water from a lake or a muddy puddle, filter it and use it. I would rather you guys survive first, okay? All right, so I have that. I also have a couple of bandanas, okay? So these are gonna be used to filter the water before it goes in and as it comes out, okay? So that's gonna be important, okay? I also have just some stones, okay? Some little, like, gravel, rocky type things, okay? This is going to allow the water to start to congeal afterwards, so it allows it to filter out, okay? And then the thing for my filter, the thing that's going to be doing most of the filtering right now is sawdust, okay? Now, what a lot of people use and what you will probably find out in the wild is going to be sand, which is a fantastic filter, and I'm really bummed that I couldn't find any around here. Okay, I was checking the construction sites, I was checking my basement, I couldn't find any sand. So I got sawdust, that's what I'm using. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut this label off so that we can actually see what we're doing here. Okay, not necessary if you're actually making a filter for yourself. This is just so I can show you. Okay, what you want to do is hold upside down and you're going to cut the top off. Okay, or the bottom off rather. Okay, so okay. Once again, be very, 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 very careful. The knife is sharp and they can result in sharp edges when you're done. Okay. Come on, cut. I'm like shaving off pieces here. Okay, so there we go. So now I have a container, okay, with water. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the stones in the bottom. Okay, the stones are going to go there. Yeah, let me put them all in. I think I'm ready to go. There we go. Okay, now if I open this lid, they're all going to fall out. Okay, and in order to prevent that, and why we need 2 bandanas, is I'm actually going to use one of the bandanas on the bottom, partially to keep the stones in, partially to keep everything else in, but also partially to filter out whatever's in there, okay? So it's going to keep the stones in, it's going to keep the sawdust in, it's going to keep the sand in. I also want whatever dirt that might be on the stones, whatever might have filtered past the sawdust to try and go through, not to go through too. I'm also going to cut a little hole in the lid. Now this is going to be tricky, especially if you're doing it at home, but I will give it a try. Of course, it would help if my knife were sharp, but use what you got, right? Almost got it. Try not to be too, it doesn't have to be too precise. If you're actually trying this. Have just about a hole. I feel like I'm peeling an apple. Okay. So I have a hole through my lid. Okay. So I'm going to put the bandana. I think, unfortunately, only a single layer is going to cover, because what I'm going to do is actually screw the bandana right onto the bottle using the lid. I'm going to take my stones out. Okay. Now, this is why I say it's kind of bad that it's only one layer that'll fit. A very weak-walled bottle. Because the more layers you go through, the more stuff you're going to filter out. Okay? The idea is to get as much stuff filtered out as possible. Okay? So if you're only going through one layer, that'll affect what you can pull out. Okay? That'll affect how clean your water's going to be. Okay, so hopefully this will work. All right, I'm gonna put my stones back in. Now I'm gonna put some sawdust in. Okay. Now the other thing that I recommend is to use activated charcoal as well, which if you have it, great. If you don't have it, use what you have. Okay, let's get some more. You want quite a bit in there. Okay, now again, I would much prefer to use sand, but use what you have, right? All part of survival, be adaptable. Okay, just gonna pack that down a little bit. Okay, so, quick and dirty, really. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my other bandana, or actually, this one might actually cover the top too. It's kind of a big bandana. Okay, now you can put that right in, and then what you're gonna do is pour water right through. Okay, so my yucky Cedar Run water is gonna go right in here. Okay, it's gonna go down through the bandana, through the sawdust, through the rocks, through the other bandana, and then hopefully come out semi-clear. And I will say this might take a while. A proper done filter is probably going to take a little bit. It's not going to be immediate. This might take a couple hours, okay, for it to filter through, and that's fine. You would want to let it do exactly what it needs to do, because if not, if you try and rush it, you're going to come out with dirty water. Okay. Now, like I said, this isn't going to take everything out, but we're going to try. All right, so I'm going to set this up. Let me angle it down so you can see my rig here. All right. Sorry, like I said, working alone here. Okay. All right, so I have filter. Okay, I have sawdust, I have stone, I have other filter, and I have container that it's going into. Okay, so let's see if I can rig this so it stays put. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. Alright, that's as good as it's getting right now. Alright, I will say that I did mix this up a little bit more. I did add a little bit more soil and debris into it, just so that, you know, we can be a little bit dramatic with it, right? Okay, let's see how this goes. Slowly. This goes slowly. Very, very, very slowly. Let's see. I hear it going down. I'm going to push this down a little bit more so that maybe I can get a little bit more in at a time. I don't know if you guys can see it. There we go. That works. Okay. I don't know. I can hear it going down. It's going to take a little bit because, unfortunately, the sawdust is going to soak up a lot of the water right now. Okay? So you're going to have to use a lot more. But this is an experiment. We're trying. Okay. Oh, I see it coming. Ooh, I see it coming down the bottom. This looks pretty good. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, let me see if I can move the... Ah, oh, there we go. Can you see the drip? Woohoo! That is actually pretty clear water, guys. Oh, I like this. This is working out really, really well. I gotta tell you, a lot of my experiments, guys, I know them and I have done them before, but it's been a while. So having to do them on camera, I usually do it for the first time. So this is fun. It's a surprise for everybody. Okay. Now I'm gonna let that drain through. Already that's looking a lot better. Okay. See if I can move things without, do I want to risk? Aha, there we go. Oh, that's looking great. Now, like I said, I'm not going to drink this, and I would not drink this before boiling it or something, because even though we have filtered out a lot of the solids out of this, we have not filtered out the bacteria. We have not filtered out the any of the parasites that might be in the water. We have not filtered out any of the tiny little microscopic things that are in this water. All that stuff is still in here, okay? It's still in the bottom here, all right? It's still going to be really dangerous to drink unless you sanitize it somehow. Okay, so for this, what I would do is I would take this water, and actually it being in a glass container helps because you can just put this right over the fire until it boils for about a minute or two. Okay, and once it's boiled, let it cool, and then you can drink it from there. Or, like Miss Erin showed you on Monday, you can use it to make tea berry tea or pine tea and get a little bit of nutrients in there too. Okay, which is fantastic, and probably why they started doing that. Okay. It's really easy to remember to boil your water if you have something tasty in there too. Okay? So, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. Oh, there goes my phone. Sorry, guys. Stay. Sit. Phone doesn't want to stay put. There we go. Stay. Alright, and the other thing I want to show you is I only used about half of the water. Okay? It's still going to take a little bit. Okay, it's still dribbling through. Some of it stayed in the sawdust here. Okay, so that sawdust is a little bit darker. That sawdust did trap a lot. But what I want to show you is the bandana at the top. Okay, because this, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is very not clean. Okay, that was white and black, and now it is just brown. It's really kind of gross. So that's all the stuff that we filtered out of the pond water. That includes a lot of leaves that fell into the water. It includes a lot of bacterial residue, bacterial scum, stuff like that that gets trapped in there. Okay, you don't want to drink any of that. You want to filter all that stuff out. All right. Like I said, there's probably other stuff in there too. I don't even want to think about it, which is why you boil the water afterwards. Okay? Hi, Hunter. It's good to see you coming all the time. I love it. Okay? But this actually turned out pretty well. Now, it's not crystal clear. Okay? This water is so not crystal clear. Boiling it will not help, though, if it's not crystal clear. Boiling is just going to sanitize it. What you can do is definitely filter it back through again. So put this water right back in the top of your filter and try again. Okay, that'll get a little bit more of the heavier stuff out of it. The other thing is that our water has a lot of iron in it, which the best filters in the world probably are not going to help too much with. Okay, so the best filter that you guys can do probably will not be able to get all of that iron out of it. So it's still going to taste probably like a rusty nail. At least our water does. Okay. Now this is, like I said, this is a really quick and dirty. I've only got some bandanas and a plastic bottle on me, and maybe hopefully something else to catch the clean water afterwards. If possible, please don't put the clean water in the old water container, because that's just recycling the bacteria in it. It's putting everything else right back into it, and it's not good for you if you can help it. Okay, so 2 bottles of water is probably a good thing. Iodine tablets afterwards, or boiling it afterwards, is essential so you don't get sick. Okay, if all else fails and you don't have anything to boil the water in, you can leave it in the sun in strong sunlight for hours, like for the whole day. okay, in very, very, very strong sunlight. That will help kill some of the bacteria and some of the parasites and stuff into it. It won't catch everything, but it'll help, okay? And like I said, if all else fails and you're in a survival situation and you're dying of thirst, drink it and hopefully you'll survive to get to a hospital and help you out later, all right? So we want you to survive first. Okay. Now, that being said, this is like the quick and dirty thing, but there are some really cool tools that can help you out too. So you can actually purchase life straws or something similar to those, which have the filtration system all already in a straw about this long, maybe this long for some of them. And that is really, really handy. They're good for, I want to say like 40 hours worth of sucking things through or something like that, or maybe they measure it in gallons, but they're really, really good for to keep packed into a backpack if you're hiking out in the woods, or keep in your back pocket for a day trip or something, anything that you might have a chance of getting lost in. It's a good idea to have one of those if you can afford it. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, I have a comment from Hunter saying that this is gross, which it kind of is. Maybe this one was gross. Or that. It's all pretty gross. I would not want to try and drink this if I can help it. Okay? Alright. So, if I don't have any questions, then thank you all for joining me. You guys can always put your questions in the comments and we will try and get back to you later if we can. If you are watching this later on YouTube or later on Facebook, if you're not watching live today, then you definitely leave your comments in, leave your questions in the comments below and we'll get back to them as we can. And once again, thank you so much for all of your support lately. These donations are really helping us continue on. We are in the thick of baby season right now. It is baby possum season right now, so we're getting a lot of baby possums in, a lot of raccoons, so it's going to be a fun season. So all of this support is helping with those baby animals, helping keep us going, and helping just keep Cedar Run afloat. So thank you all very, very much. I hope to see you guys soon. Once again, our trails are open, our nature center is closed, our wildlife housing area is open. So you can definitely come and do a trail walk. I would still recommend wear your mask, do safe social distancing, all of that. And yeah, we'll be here for you. Thank you very much. Have a good day, guys. Bye.